Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Do you want to know how I made this beautiful skirt that I'm wearing? Then you definitely have to keep watching this video. As you can see guys, I already have my fabric on the table and it is on fold. So my fabric is folded into two like this. So now the first thing I'm going to do is to roll a line here, which is going to serve as the starting line. After doing that, I'm going to measure 1 inch. So I'm just going to measure 1 inch on this side, measure 1 inch here, measure 1 inch, then I'm going to connect it. This 1 inch I'm going to roll is going to be for the slit allowance. So all our measurement is going to start from this line. We are not going to touch that 1 inch. Right now I'm going to take the length measurement. I'll take from the waist to the hip, which is 9 inches, and I take it to the length of the skirt, which is 20 inches. I'll be adding extra 2 inches, which is going to be part of the lining. So I'm just going to do the same thing here, and after which I'll connect the dots. Guys, before measuring from the waist to the hip line, I already marked out like 1 inch. So initially it was supposed to be 10 inches, so I removed 1 inch, which is going to be for the band. Right now I'll come to this hip line and I'll take the hip measurement divided by 4, then I'll add 2 inches for the sewing allowance. Come to the waistline, take the waist measurement divided by 4, add 1 inch for the dart, then 2 inches for the sewing allowance. Then I'll come to this knee line. I'll minus 1.5 from what I took on the hip line. So the hip line was 9.5, so I minus 1.5, which gave me 8. So I'll mark 8 and I'll add 2 inches for the sewing allowance, then connect the dots. After doing that guys, I'm going to come to this waistline and go down by ½ inch. Then I'm just going to create a little slope there. After doing that, then I'll cut it out. So I'm just going to fold in these 2 inches and make a notch so I will know where the length of the skirt ends. So guys, right now I'm going to place this on another fabric to cut at the back. You see guys, so I'm just going to place it on it to cut at the back. But before I do that, I'm going to fold in this 1 inch, which is going to be for the slit allowance, because this is not part of our measurement. So I'll just fold it in so that I will be able to take the accurate measurement. So I'll make sure I have about 2 inches on that side, which is going to be for the zipper allowance. So right now I'm just going to roll the lines. So I'll just roll out the lines like this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to take the zipper allowance. On this hip line I'll take 2 inches, then come to the knee line and take 1.5 inches, then come to the waistline and take 1.5 inches as well. So I'm just going to connect it. So the extra ½ inch that I added to the hip line is going to be for that hip allowance, sorry, the butt allowance. Right now guys, what I'm going to do is to come to the waistline and go up by 1 inch, which is the ½ inch we cut off plus extra ½ inch. So after doing that, I will roll a line. After that, I'm just going to cut it out as well. Now guys, you can see this is the front piece and the back pieces. So these are all the pieces. So right now I'm going to use this to cut out the lining. The length of the lining is 18 inches. Guys, you remember I folded in 2 inches, which I added to the fabric, which is going to be part of the lining. So that is it. Right now I'll bring the front piece and I'm going to come to the waistline and measure my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 plus ½ inch. So I'm going to make a notch there and open it up. So right now I'm trying to cut out where my slit will be. So I want the slits to be on the left hand side. So I'm going to measure what I have here from there to the notch. Then I'll add 1 inch to it, which is going to be for the sewing allowance. Then I'll make a notch on it and I'll fold it together. Then I'll iron it out in order for me to have a gaiter, so I'll be able to cut it out straight. So right now I'm just going to cut it out straight. You see what we have guys? So this is where the slit is going to be. I'm just going to do the same thing to the lining as well. guys, you can see. So right now it's time to sew. I'm just going to bring the fabric and the lining together, right sides facing each other, and I will sew it on the hem area. So I'm going to sew it down, and I will do the same thing to all the pieces. Guys, you can see I'm done sewing. You see what we have. I've attached the lining to the fabric itself. I've done the same thing to all the pieces. So right now I'm going to bring it together like this. I'll just fold it together like the way you see me doing it, and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to sew it round, and I will do the same thing to all the other pieces as well. Guys, I'm done sewing it, and I also went ahead to use the overlock machine to weave it all around. So this is why I did do inner sewing, because I knew I wanted to weave it. So right now I'll bring the two front pieces together like this, you can see. So I'll place it together, and I'm going to measure like about 6 inches here, which is going to be for the slit. Then I'll measure 1 inch here, which is for the sewing allowance. I measure the same thing here. I'm just going to roll the lines. Then I'm going to take into the sewing machine, and I'll sew from this point to this point. Then I'll also make a dart on this other point. So I'll bring out the back now, and I'm going to measure 1.5 inch on all the sides. So after doing that, I'm going to connect the dots. Now I'm going to measure down about 7 inches, which is going to be for the zipper. After doing that, guys, I'm going to sew from the end to this point and leave here, which is going to be for the zipper. Then I will sew the darts on the two sides as well. So guys, I'm done doing that, and this is what I have. You can see I've joined it, and I also made the darts, and I do the same thing to the back as well. So I'm just going to pin it now, so you see how it looks. You see, so this is the back. This is how the back is. It has that butt allowance and the darts as well. So right now I'm going to place the back and the front together, the right sides facing each other like the way you see me doing it. And I'm going to take the waist measurement, and I will also take the hip measurement, take the knee measurement. Then I'm going to sew it down. I'm done taking the measurements, guys. Right now I'm just going to take it to the machine and sew it. This is what I have after I was done sewing and ironing. You can see how it's coming out, guys. You see, so this is what we have right now. Now the next thing is the band. So I'm going to bring my band pieces like this. I'm going to bring them, and I'm going to iron wording to it to make it stronger a little bit. So I'm done ironing the wording, and this is what I have. I also went ahead to iron it out on fold. So right now, guys, I'm going to bring the skirt. You can see I've loosed these two ends. So I'm going to place one of the band on it like this, and I'm just going to sew it all the way down. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the back as well. So guys, this is what I have after I was done sewing it. You can see. Now what I'm going to do is to fold it together like this, following the fold line that we already have on the band. And I'm going to fold it in just the way you see me doing it, and I'll pin it down. I will do this till I get to the end. You can see. So guys, this is what we have. So right now I'm going to do the same thing to this back as well. I'm done doing that. I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine now, and I'm going to sew it down. Just stitch on it and do the same thing to the back. So guys, this is what I have after I was done doing that. You see, I also went ahead to join the sides. Right now all I need to do is to attach the zipper, And after doing that, that will basically be all for the sewing of the skirt. I'm done attaching the zipper, guys, you see. So this is it. Now the last but not the least step is for me to attach the bow tie. I already sewed the bow tie. It is 11 inches wide by 7 inches long. So I'm just going to fold it together like this, and I'll iron it in order for me to get the midpoint. So guys, after doing that, I'm just going to make pleatings on this midpoint in order to create the bow tie, you see. Then I'm going to use this rope. I'll tie it, then I'll take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch it down. I'm done stitching it, guys. You can see how our bow tie looks so nice. Right now I'll bring the fabric and I'll place the bow tie on it. I'm going to be sewing the bow tie on the slit line like this. After doing that, I will sew it on the fabric as well, and that would be basically all for the sewing of the skirt. So guys, you can see how it looks on me. Came out so nice. So this brings us to the end of this particular tutorial video, guys. If you haven't subscribed, endeavor to hit the subscribe button. See you all in our next video. Bye.